Europe and cooperation with the Mediterranean countries, as the security of both Europe and the Middle East is linked. The Egyptian-European relations are distinguished by depth and strength, with the European appreciation of the Egyptian leading role on the regional and the international levels. The Egyptian-European relations are various, and their cooperation in different fields is one of the best examples of the Egyptian foreign relations. Egypt is also connected to Africa and seeks to improve relations with the Asian countries. Bilateral relations between Egypt and the Asian countries have always been characterized by diversity of cooperation fields. Since President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi took office, the Egyptian-Asian relations were developed to a new level of cooperation, including mutual visits for President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi to Russia, China, Japan, and South Korea. Egypt also gives attention to consolidating relations with the major international powers. The strategic benefits of close relations between Egypt and different world countries include establishing strategic partnership, which will pave the way for more projects to develop Egypt as a major country in the Middle East and North Africa.
During his 2-year in office, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi accomplished a number of national mega projects to enhance Egypt's economy and restore its economic status on the global horizon. President el-Sisi had launched the new Suez Canal project in August of 2014 and has set an ambitious target of digging the new canal in 1 year. Despite the tough political and security circumstances, the president officially inaugurated the Suez axis on Thursday, on the 6th of August of 2015.
President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi officially inaugurated on the 6th of August 2015 the new Suez Canal as the ships passed through it in a wide-scale ceremony attended by the world leaders. At the celebration of the new Suez Canal inauguration, the President had congratulated the Egyptian people and those who worked in the project. He had announced that the project is the beginning of a number of projects in transportation, land reform and aquaculture at the canal. Sisi added that the 2 projects previously announced by the state are set to start soon, the Suez Canal Access Development Project and the new capital city. The Suez Canal New Access is a mega project in Egypt that aims to increase the role of the Suez Canal in the international trading and to develop the 3 canal cities, Suez, Ismailia and Port Said. The project includes the construction of a new city, an industrial zone, fish farms, completing the technology valley, building 7 new tunnels between Sinai and Ismailia and Port Said, and improving 5 existing ports and digging a new canal parallel to the Suez Canal. The new canal will increase the canal capacity by allowing the ships to sail into both directions at the same time for a greater proportion of the canal. The project will transfer the canal cities into an important trading center. It will also build new centers on the new Suez Canal for the logistic and the ship services. Meanwhile, the project's authority said that the revenues of the canal will increase from $5 billion to $12.5 billion yearly. The armed forces participate in the project by helping in designing and digging the canal and the tunnels. It also protects the project's location from Sinai. Suez Canal traffic data revealed that 341 ships transited the canal with a total load of 18.88 million tons from 4 to the 10th of March of 2016. An average of 48.7 ships transited the canal per day during the past week, with an average load of 2.7 million tons a day. The average load per ship was about 360 tons during that period. The Emirati National Marine Dredging Company played a key role in building the new waterway, dubbed the Suez Canal Axis. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi successfully achieved the project, which is known as the Great Egyptian Dream, as it will help the economy of Egypt to reheal and turn the dream to a concrete reality.
In the first 2 years of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's term in office, a number of national projects were launched with the aim of improving the country's infrastructure and serving the low-income earners. The reclamation of the 1.5 million fidans was one of those mega national projects. To know more about the details of this national project and what benefits would it bring for the Egyptian people in the near future, it's in the following report.
In a serious step towards the restoration of Egypt's status as a major agricultural state and achieve self-sufficiency from crops, President Fattah al-Sisi launched from Farafra in December 2015 the 1.5 million Fidan project, one of the mega national projects. Out of the total 1.5 million Fidan, the project in Farafra covers 280,000 Fidans. In May 2016, President al-Sisi celebrated the harvest of 10,000 wheat fidans in the southwest El-Wadi Gadid, or the New Valley Governorate, as part of a national project to expand the country's farmland by reclaiming 1.5 million fidans nationwide. The project, which aims at achieving sustainable development, is a model for the modern Egyptian countryside that will include a series of villages addressing the problems of the past and invest the present elements. It is implemented in accordance with the plans and scientific studies so that together constitute the integrated urban communities. Besides agricultural activity, it will be associated with food products, packaging, production of oil and other industries, in addition to providing housing units and all the necessary facilities and the provision of health and education services to establish an integrated residential community that attracts residents. In November, the Cabinet approved the establishment of a company with a capital of £15 billion to manage the mega project. The Egyptian Development Company was established with the contribution of the New Urban Communities Authority, the General Authority for Rehabilitation Projects and Agricultural Development, as well as the Ministry of Finance. The 1.5 million Fidan project aims at filling the food gap, rationalizing food imports, and setting up new agricultural communities that provide thousands of jobs to young people. Under the project, new communities are created in a number of governorates, especially the Upper Egyptian ones. The project helps in redistributing the population and coping with population growth for the coming 14 years, expected at 40 million. It is launching a point for getting out of the narrow Nile Valley. More than 90 million Egyptians live on only 7% of the country's 1 million square kilometer land mass. The project will expand Egypt's prospective agricultural land by 20% from 8 million to 9.5 million fidans. It includes digging over 5,000 water wells for a total cost of 6 billion Egyptian pounds. Egypt has 8 billion cubic meters of well water, of which the project will need around 2 billion cubic meters. About 11.5% of the 1.5 million Fidan project depends on surface and recycled water, whilst the rest of the underground water. The project is dependent on renewable energy such as solar energy. During the inauguration of the project, the President said that the possession of land will be made easier with direct ownership contracts to avert the state's normal bureaucracy. That the state has prepared the total size of the land, taking into account utilities and services that the people will need. The government and banks will also provide them with credit facilities with interest rates below 6%.
After 3 years of unrest that followed the 2011 revolution, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's election was viewed as an opportunity to strengthen Egypt's deteriorating economy. President el-Sisi's immediate signed several mega projects such as the new administrative capital was a successful element to make the ordinary citizen feel the impact of those projects on the state economy.
Since he was elected in June 2014, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has been working for achieving a number of mega projects that could push the state economy in a way that can be felt by all citizens. In July 2014, Sisi approved an amended budget for 2014-2015 that targeted a 10% budget deficit as a proportion of the gross domestic product, down from 12% the previous year. In February 2015, Egypt's finance ministry said the budget deficit reached about 5.7% of GDP during the first half of the fiscal year. Egypt signed deals worth $38.2 billion at the Economic Development Convergence, including investment deals worth $33 billion and European aid and loans worth $5.2 billion. President el-Sisi has launched over the past period the new administrative capital and 5 new cities nationwide, with a total cost of £150 billion. The 5 cities are New Eastern Port Said, Al Alamein, New Ismailia, New Suez, Al Galala, Al Bahira. The first phase of the new administrative capital is being implemented on an area of 10,500 fidans. The new capital includes multi-class areas for all segments of society. The Alamein city will be an integrated urban and tourism project, which entails, along with a sports city to serve global sport camps. The Eastern Port Said city is composed of an industrial zone in Eastern Port Said area on a total area of 40 million square meters. Also, Al Galala Al Bahira city will comprise several tourism and services projects, including King Abdullah University. The city will have several residential cities and areas for society. In Ismailia, the new Ismailia city will be the first model city in Egypt. Suez, the first phase of the new city of Suez, includes 12,300 housing units and will be inaugurated soon.
The cabinet headed by Prime Minister Sharif Ismail held its weekly meeting on Wednesday. The ministers discussed a number of political and economic files in addition to the security situation in Egypt. They also looked into reports on the implementation of ongoing mega-national projects. The ministers discussed measures taken to improve the services provided for citizens and providing basic commodities in low prices during the holy Ramadan. The cabinet probed measures to improve the atmosphere for investors and deal with the budget deficit and high rates of the foreign currency, as well as achieving social justice. An Egyptair aircraft resumed its flight to Beijing after being forced to make an emergency landing on Wednesday in Uzbekistan following a false bomb threat. A false bomb threat forced an Egyptair aircraft en route from Beijing to Cairo to make an emergency landing, and the plane is an of A330-220 landed at the airport in the town of Orgench, about 840 kilometers west of Uzbek capital of Tashkent, 3 hours after it took off from Cairo. All 135 passengers and crew on board were evacuated and the aircraft was searched. Officials said that the search proved that there was no bomb or any other suspicious object on board. Officials said an anonymous caller telephoned security agents at the Cairo airport to say a bomb on board the flight. The agents immediately contacted the aircraft and ordered it to land at its nearest airport. Regionally, Syrian activists said that airstrikes